Folks, in case you missed it, we got the opportunity last week to see quite a bit more gameplay footage of Street Fighter 6. A bunch of people got the chance to try the game at Summer Games Fest, and we've gotten a lot of new footage and a lot of new information about the game. But one thing that I've seen that is kind of bugging me is there's a lot of misinformation and even some like fear-mongering about the new control mechanic in Street Fighter 6. There's a new selectable control scheme. I talked about this in a previous video, and a lot of people seem very worried about it or seem convinced that it's gonna somehow ruin the game or break the game or something like that. So I thought I would go Mythbusters mode today. We're gonna look at some of the misconceptions I've seen about the new modern control scheme in Street Fighter 6, and I'm gonna do my best to correct them. So hopefully you guys will find this informative, and let me know down in the comments if there's more Street Fighter 6 analysis you'd like to see from me. Hit the like button as well to let me know that this is the kind of thing that you like, and I'll make more of it. But with that, let's get into some of the misconceptions here. So first of all, I'll just explain the two control schemes in case you guys missed the last video. We have modern controls and classic controls. These are the two control schemes you'll be able to pick from in Street Fighter 6. Classic controls is exactly what we're used to from other Street Fighter games. 6 normal attack buttons, and then to do special moves, you have to do a combination of directional inputs plus one of the attack buttons. So that's classic controls, but modern controls is the new control scheme that's getting kind of controversial. You can see now you only have 3 normal attack buttons, light, medium, heavy, and then you have a dedicated special move button. And then to do your different special moves, you press a direction plus the special move button. So kind of like Super Smash Brothers, where it's like up plus B is like a different special move from forward plus B and neutral plus B. That's kind of what these controls are like. So this sounds pretty innocuous, right? So why are people freaking out? Let's talk about a few of the reasons. So the first sort of concern that people had was about charge characters. So Guile was announced the other day for Street Fighter 6. He's a charge character. If you don't know how that works, to do Guile's fireball, you have to hold the back direction for 1 to 2 seconds. And then press forward plus punch. To do his flash kick, which is his anti-air attack, you have to hold down for 1 to 2 seconds, then press up plus kick. So this is a balancing mechanic to make up for the fact that these moves are really strong. You can't do them whenever you want. You can't do them after walking forward. You can't do a sonic boom while maintaining the charge for a flash kick. So that is just a balance mechanic that Guile has always had. He has really strong special moves, but they are having that big downside that you have to charge them. So a lot of people are like, well, one button specials, you can just press the special button to do sonic boom. That means that no charge, walk forward sonic boom. That sounds broken. And there was actually a game that played like this. It was Street Fighter 4 for the 3DS. You could bind your special moves and your super moves onto the touchscreen. So in that game, you could do walk forward sonic boom, walk forward flash kick, sonic boom while having the ability to flash kick if they jump over it. And it was pretty broken. This was a very broken version of the game. Obviously, I don't think anyone was going to play on a handheld in a tournament, but regardless of that, this was a major problem for this game. And so a lot of people thought we were going to see the same thing in Street Fighter 6. But thankfully, it does seem like Capcom was one step ahead on this. We've seen footage of the command lists for all the characters in Street Fighter 6, and it's very hard to see in this footage, but if you guys can't tell, the arrow on this Kikoken is actually yellow. It's very hard to tell the difference, or maybe it's orange. So the yellow arrow means they need you to hold back. So to do Chun Li's fireball in this game, you have to hold back, press forward plus punch. That's how it works in Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 2 and a bunch of other games. So she has a charge Kikoken, but this is in normal controls, the classic controls. But if we skip ahead, he actually switches to modern controls here, and you can see that the Kikoken has this same yellow or orange arrow. It's very subtle. It's hard to see, but I believe we are officially confirmed that charge moves will still require charge in modern controls. So you're going to have to hold back for the same 1 to 2 seconds and then press the special button. So you don't have to press forward plus special, so it is a little bit easier. But yeah, you can't do Chun Li or Guile fireballs while walking forward or any of those shenanigans. So they did think about this. So I was actually pretty impressed. I didn't really expect Capcom to be sort of one step ahead like this, but yeah, it looks like they've put a lot of thought into this. So this was definitely, I thought, a good sign for the game that at least they're putting the level of thought in to know ahead of time, hey, this might be a problem, we should look into that. So pretty reassuring, I thought. By the way, while we have this pulled up, why don't we take a look at another misconception that I saw, which is that modern mode special moves will require 2 bars of drive gauge. So if you look here on the move list, look, it's the special move, and it says 2 bars. So obviously, modern special moves are going to require 2 bars, right? That's how they're going to balance it. That's how they're going to make it cost meter. A lot of people thought that this must be the case. There was even a pretty highly upvoted Reddit thread where it was like, hey, looks like the modern control special moves will use drive meter on use. And everyone just believed it and hit upvote. They were like, seems legit. I mean, look at the replies where they're like, yep, I knew it. This mode seems unusable. Of course, and way more upvotes than downvotes, because I guess people don't want to take the time to actually confirm something before they form a strong opinion about it. Guys, obviously, these aren't going to take drive meter to use. That would be so bad. That would be such a massive nerf. And there's so many ways to prove this. Like, we can just go back to the normal move list, the classic move list. Look, it's still got the 2-bar thing there. They're just telling you that this move is able to be EX. This move is able to spend 2 drive bars to do the EX, or the upgraded version of the special move. That's what this means. And guys, it's not hard to find footage of people playing the Summer Games Fest demo in modern mode. You can see clearly Chun Li is on modern mode, Jamie is on classic mode, and I mean, look, Chun Li, she can do special moves no problem. Look there, she did up kicks. It didn't cost 2 bars. And look here, she's gonna do lightning legs. Look, see, there you go, lightning legs. That didn't cost 2 bars. Guys, it's not hard to prove this theory wrong. So, yeah, I would just say, you know, be a little bit more skeptical of what you read on the internet. If something you read about an upcoming game sounds totally insane and crazy, which in my opinion, all special moves costing 2 bars would be insane. That would completely ruin this mode and make it unusable. If you hear something outlandish like that, just double check and confirm before you jump to a conclusion. And then finally, the third thing I wanted to talk about is the name itself. So obviously this is going to be very up to opinion, how people feel about it, but I made a tweet where I said, I thought that modern mode was actually a very smart name, because other games like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they call it simple mode. And to me, nobody wants to pick simple mode. Even if you're a beginner, if you're presented with an option that says simple mode, most people are not going to pick it because, you know, they're going to feel like they're not actually playing the game. They're going to feel like they're being sort of pandered to, that they're just going to mash and not actually learn the game. But I do think modern, even though it is easier, you know, you will be able to play the real game on modern. You will be able to do combos and, you know, throw fireballs and anti-air them when they try to jump over them and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like the name modern makes a lot of sense because, yeah, it's a new control scheme, and modern fighting games tend to have more simplified controls. We've seen a lot of more modern fighting games, you know, like Grand Blue, DNF Duel. Obviously the Smash Brothers series has been doing this for a while, but also stuff like Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. All these games have this control scheme where you have a dedicated special move button, and I think that makes sense to call it modern, whereas C, the classic, not only does this have this sort of Capcom feel with this iconic C to indicate, yeah, like a Capcom game, this is going to have 6 buttons and fireball and uppercut motions. I think it makes sense to differentiate it this way. Another nice little touch here is, have you guys noticed that modern has 4 attack buttons, 3 normal attacks and 1 special, and it's got a square which has 4 sides and 4 corners, whereas classic has 6 attack buttons and it's a hexagon, 6 sides, 6 corners. Makes you think, was Capcom, you know, 5-head with this, or is it just a coincidence? Who's to say? But regardless, I think that the classic name makes sense, but obviously this is just opinion. If you guys think that calling it modern is insulting somehow to the classic players, personally, I think anyone who would be upset by the fact that they call this modern is probably going to play the game anyway, and Capcom doesn't really need to sell them. The people they need to convince are the people who have never tried Street Fighter before, or have tried fighting games and been like, this isn't for me, it's too hard. Those are the people who they need to convince to actually try this mode, because it might actually bring them into the game. So I'm not saying that this is above criticism, or the game in general. I don't think the game in general is above criticism at all. I think that, you know, if you think that they're not doing enough or that you don't think this control scheme is going to do much to help widen the player pool for Street Fighter, I think that's totally fine if you feel that way. I just feel like base it on things that are actual, like, real data and facts and not sort of made up stuff like some of the issues that we're seeing earlier. So yeah, that's how I feel about the modern control scheme. I think Capcom seems to be doing a great job with it. I think that they were very smart to sort of preempt some of the issues that people foresaw happening with this control scheme. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear it. And with that, I think I'm going to end the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.